As you see there on the screen, those are today's numbers. 0 new cases, 0 lives lost. 2.6 now is the average, the 14-day rolling average, and 6 cases with unknown sources. Yesterday, the number was 7, which makes it all that little bit easier to control. Let's bring in Bill Lang now from Small Business Australia. Bill, you must have been waiting with bated breath, first on Sunday, then a pause, then yesterday as well. What are your thoughts about what the government's announced?
Look, a great relief for many business owners in a range of different sectors. Still, big issues with indoor dining numbers, so as Holly just pointed out, and still a lot of uncertainty for some business owners in industries like indoor children's play centres that still don't have any clarity and sort of scratching their head, Aaron, around, well, if kids are going back to school and shortly they're going to be able to do sort of indoor sports, people like Crocs Play Centres, one of our great successful entrepreneurial stories here in Victoria, still have no certainty as to when they're going to be open. But look, all in all, it's a step in the right direction. Could have been announced on Sunday. Why everyone was left hanging on tenterhooks, no one could really explain to us, an abundance of caution. But look, we're encouraging everybody to get out and say good day to their local business owners. Cancel the Netflix subscriptions. No need for that anymore. But let's get out and start putting a few dollars in the tills.
Yeah, well, we just heard from Holly there. I mean, obviously the frustration with the Premier, that's for someone else to talk about right now, and probably a story for another day. But the councils, it seems to be up to them to talk about delivering permits and things for small businesses to be able to open up outside. Holly just mentioning there that she's spoken to people in Greville Street who say they're still waiting for that permit to come through. What's going on with these councils?
Look, it's time to step up. We haven't really seen any great innovation from local government. Basically, businesses should be able to start using some of that space straight away and then have people come past and check that there's a COVID-safe plan in place. There should not be any holding back, any bottlenecks. Like, what have the councillors actually been doing in those council offices over the last 12 weeks here in the Melbourne, Yarra Valley and Mornington Peninsula? I don't like to refer to those areas as Melburnians. They're people in totally different areas that have been thrown in and lumped into this big lockdown. But it's time for local government to step up. Automated sort of approval, a bit like doing your tax return, self-assessment, Aaron. We need some innovation. These businesses need every chance to be able to get going quickly.
Now, Jennifer Westacott, the Business Council of Australia CEO, is out this morning saying it's disappointing many businesses will need to wait until the 8th of November for certainty. She's hit out at what she says a stop-start approach. What do you think?
Oh, look, I'd agree with that. You just sort of put those numbers up, another 0. There's still a lot of uncertainty around for those businesses that have to wait till the 8th. And they saw what happened back in June. Like, they got opened up, they invested in a lot of inventory, food, etc. And then, panic set in and everything was closed down. And so, great. But even on Sunday, people thought, well, there's panicking going. It's a northern suburbs related issue. But let's take a sort of, the national hotspot strategy to this. Let's ensure we're doing things as well as New South Wales has been doing in terms of managing the hotspot. So we totally agree with what Jennifer and her members have got to say.
We've still got this, if you can work from home, you must work from home strategy in place as well. How does that impact business? And also the fact that there really wasn't much lead time for a lot of businesses to get back. You think of cafes and a lot of small businesses that employ casual workers, they're long gone. We said goodbye to those casual workforce 112 days ago. To get back on the phone and say, where are you positioned? Can you start work tonight? There'll be a lot of businesses that will be reopening tomorrow, but with very, very minimal staff. And that will be a wasted opportunity because that will be the exact time. If you head to Kmart tomorrow, I guarantee there'll be queues out the door.
Yeah, look, it's a bit of a two-edged sword because in the CBD of Melbourne, so they're actually quite concerned about their ability to get some staff back. And that's because in some cases they're sitting on the JobKeeper payments and that's better than actually coming in and having to work. So there's still some issues around the simplicity and what the incentives are with some of these systems and processes. Look, another big thing for the Victorian government to do is to get their own workers back into all those big city buildings that they've got. Up in New South Wales, the Premier up there is getting the workers back into the city. That's a core part of it. The second thing is let's start again, let's get smart with the technology. There's some good technologies around that can be used in the city and used in offices so they can be totally COVID safe, enable instantaneous tracking and tracing. Let's make sure we're using that stuff. I heard the press conference yesterday. There were some questions asked, and it was around the old-fashioned way is still the best way. That's a bit of a niggling concern for a lot of business owners if that's the case, Aaron.
Yeah, very much so. Well, let's hope that those case numbers stay, as we say, there's 0 new cases in Victoria. Pretty scary what's happening overseas, particularly in Europe and the United States. heading for a third wave there too. It can happen so easily. Bill Lang, we'll talk to you again soon, and I'll see you tomorrow. Of course, we're heading to Ballarat, of course, for our Revive Australia campaign. We'll be heading up to the Provincial Hotel, which will be wonderful to get out of the city, but looking forward to talking to you up there.
Thanks a lot, Aaron. It's my old hometown, and in fact, the Provincial is where I had my first legal beer over the bar, so I'm looking forward to being up there.
Yes, and the first legal beer tomorrow as well, I hope. We'll talk to you again soon.